Good morning, and I'm glad you're with us today. Today is Election Day. I trust that you either have voted, many people have voted early, or are planning to vote. Very, very important election for us. And all the way down to the Supreme Court in the state of Ohio, we need to be doing our duty. And I trust that you have either voted or you are planning on voting today and exercising your rights as a citizen of this great country. Today we're in Romans chapter 12. And the first 8 verses, probably a passage that you are very familiar with, especially the first 2 verses, maybe not after those two. Paul now makes the transition, as he does in almost, I think, all of his epistles, moving from a very doctrinal section. There's no more doctrinal section probably in Scripture than Romans chapters 1 through 11. As he explains salvation, we're a sinner, we have sanctification, or we're a sinner, we're justified, we're sanctified, and then how Israel is involved in all of this. And then he moves into this very practical section, and it begins with a section that you and I probably memorized sometime in our lives. It says, I beseech you. So the word beseech is a strong term. He is telling us that this is something that his heart is crying out to us. I beseech you, therefore, the result of chapters 1 through 11, brethren, speaking to Christians, by the mercies of God, and this is how he beseeches them. You see the prepositional phrase, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So it's important for us to understand how that this is our reasonable service to be in the place that God would have us to be. Therefore, let me just pause this a minute. I got something going on. Probably been done. It's your reasonable service. Sorry about that. I'm back. And you see that your reasonable service, that we should be ones who are following God's direction daily, every day of our lives. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. This is what God demands of us. This is what he wants of us. He wants us to be in his will and where his will states. For I say, through the grace given to me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according as God hath dealt to every man the measure of faith. So this is something that all of us are involved with. For as we have many members in one body, all members have not the same office. Now he starts this section on the body and the gifts that we have. So we being many are one